neat techniques that we can use and we can practice and get better at. What's the best way to practice? Well, a lot of people would say, well, of course, it's to go to the range, right? Put a lot of rounds down range and figure out how this thing works. But is that really true? Well, we have news for you, that the best form of practice you can do is dry fire practice. So what is dry fire practice? Well, dry fire practice means that you have completely gone through the administrative unloading steps of your firearm. It means that you are now confident in pressing the trigger that no rounds will come out because you've done the proper steps to perform administrative unloads. And it means that you can now go ahead and practice the techniques, whether it be drawing and holstering, malfunction clearances, reloads, marksmanship, stance, grip, whatever it may be. This is how you want to go ahead and practice these techniques, is through dry fire. So we're going to tell you, before you start to dry fire, there are 7 crucial steps that you need to follow for safe dry fire. And remember that just because you've administratively unloaded your weapon doesn't mean you should just point the weapon anywhere you want. You still want to keep it aimed in a safe direction. So point at something that you feel could absorb a round in the unlikely event that one came out when you didn't expect it to. So we suggest things such as fireplaces, refrigerators, a stack of phone books, something that a round could not get through if it accidentally came out because you had failed to do one of the proper unloading steps somewhere, just as a safety measure for you and your family. But prior to beginning dry fire, we need to follow these 7 dry fire steps, or rather during dry fire we need to follow these 7 dry fire steps. So some of them are to do before dry fire and some of them are to do after, but they're all designed to keep you safe. Step 1 is to pick a proper time and place to perform your dry fire. So what does this mean? Well, this means that you want to find a time when you're not distracted. You don't want the TV going while you're doing your dry fire, or talking on the phone while you're doing your dry fire, or in the middle of an email or text conversation. You want to make sure that you're in an undistracted state. So a good time and place to do your dry fire where you can really focus on what you're doing, both to be safe and to get the most out of the practice that you're doing. Once you've selected a proper time and place, now it's important that you remove all ammunition from your practice area. So some people think that this means, well, okay, I've taken the ammunition out of my firearm, I'll set it on the table here, or I'll put it in my pocket here, or no, no. If you are going to perform dry fire, you need to remove any live ammunition from your practice area completely. There shouldn't be any live ammunition in the room with you. It should be completely in a separate room from you. Why? Well, live ammunition has a way of finding its way into weapons when we didn't intend for it to. So let's just be extra safe, make sure that there is no ammunition in our practice area. Next, we need to go into practice mode. We tell ourselves out loud 3 times at a minimum, this is practice. This is practice. This is practice. We want to say it out loud to ourselves 3 times at a minimum to make sure that our brain and our body is registering. We are getting ready to practice. This isn't just handling a gun to be handling a gun. We're ready to practice with our firearm. Now, once you've gone into those first 3 steps, you're ready for your dry fire. Again, you want to set up a location where you can safely point the firearm so that if something did happen to come out, it would be able to absorb that round. So maybe you can find a ballistic vest to use, again, a fireplace, refrigerator, stack of phone books, whatever it may be, something that you feel could stop that round if it were to come out. Remember, rounds travel through things, not into them. Once you've completed your practice, it's not now time to go back into reality mode. And we want to do the same thing we did going into practice mode. We tell ourselves at least 3 times and out loud, this is reality, this is reality, this is reality. You want yourself to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that any handling you're doing of this firearm now is real. This stuff is real right now, and there's a very distinct possibility that this firearm would go off if you were to press the trigger. Next, you want to put the gun into the condition you normally keep it in. So if you normally keep it unloaded in your safe, great, go ahead, unload it, put it in your safe. If you normally keep it loaded in your safe, great, load it up, put it in your safe. However you would normally store this weapon, this is what you want to go ahead and do now. And finally, you want to put the weapon away and not touch it for at least 1 hour. So because of this, we strongly suggest that if you're planning on concealed carry or carrying the firearm on you for any length of time, that you do this dry fire practice at a point when you don't intend to have it on you. Maybe in the evening before you go to bed, or in the morning when you first wake up. Because again, when you're done doing dry fire practice, you want to make sure that you go through these ritual steps of ritual dry fire, and we want to make sure that we don't touch the weapon for at least an hour. So if you put it into a holster loaded, you're kind of in danger of reaching down and touching that weapon within the hour. So again, all these steps are designed to keep you and your loved ones safe, to make sure that when you're doing dry fire, A, you're getting the most out of it, but B, that you're doing it in a safe manner that is not going to cause you any harm. So please, before you do any dry fire, review the steps of dry fire and refer to our website, www.safeinsight.net. Under our resources tab, there's lots of good free information there. Part of it is on the 7 safe steps of ritual dry fire. Now, if you want to do some really fun dry fire, one thing you can do is get yourself one of these l.a.s.r pistols that we had talked about. These l.a.s.r pistols are a great way to perform dry fire because, again, they have no way of getting around in or out of them, and they fire only that laser, which means that you can actually get some good practice in, and you can practice all these techniques very safely, very effectively. You can also buy laser inserts that you can put into your personal firearm. They make them in many different calibers and many different styles, but this one, it looks a lot like a cartridge. You would put it into the chamber, and then every time you press the trigger, it would strike the back of this, causing a laser to discharge out of the tip of your muzzle. So that's another effective way that you could practice. If you are using any form of laser practice, not only is it really good to give you instant feedback on what you're hitting, but now you can incorporate some laser software to really do some fun training. One that we recommend is called l.a.s.r, the Laser Activated Shot Recorder System. You can find this on our website, again, under the Resources tab. And what l.a.s.r does is allows you to download software onto your computer, use your webcam, and turn virtually anything into a target. It's really neat software. You can even have scoring rings on the target set up however you want. You can draw them in, or you can have preset templates that are in there that you can use. And what will happen is it'll allow you to actually be able to record yourself and your target, so that when you're shooting, you can see your times that it took you in between shots, how long it took you to get your shot on target, how accurate your target was, all kinds of cool things you can do with it. So we strongly suggest that if you're going to do any laser training with either a l.a.s.r pistol or laser inserts for your firearm, that you look into this laser program. And if you use code SAFEINSIGHT, you'll get a discount on the purchase of the software as well.